This is Commander Mimi, and welcome to my week of challenges. This week, my husband asked me to skip one workout. Want to guess what I cried? I cried. Oh my god. Stay tuned. This week, my husband asked me if I could skip my workout just one day, and I cried. Not because he was mean, he was not pushy, none of those things. He was nice about it. He just asked me. And I cried because I realized training is the only thing that is just purely mine. And yeah, it takes 3 hours out of my day. It's an hour and a half of class, then the shower, then the drive, going and coming, then, putting on my gear, packing, cleaning my gear. So it's almost 3 hours total. And that's every single day. So I know that sounds privileged, and it is. I know that not everyone can afford that, but here's the truth. Without it, I just feel how I can't function at the same level. And this week, I didn't almost lose it, but it felt that way. Not because someone was going to take it away, but because I was also pushing too hard this week, and I was just trying to keep up. So training isn't just exercise for me. It's not just fitness, and maybe not even self-care as the traditional sense. It's more like a nervous system reset. Whenever I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed at home, and that happened this week a couple times, I'm losing it, and I go over there, I train, and it's the only time that I feel free, that it's playtime. And it's the thing that lets me show up for my kids, for my husband, for my clients, for my work. I go and I just wash it all off of me, and I feel good to come back. So without it, I start shutting down. I flood, and I start feeling like a slave to my own life. And I'm aware of how expensive it is, not just money, but takes a bunch of resources, my time, energy. 3 hours a day is a luxury, that most people can't afford. So sometimes there are some things that we have to do, and 3 hours is a bit too much. So he just asked me, can you just skip it? And again, he wasn't pushy, he wasn't demanding, he just asked. And I said, no, not really, not today, I don't want to. And he said, okay. But I just couldn't let it go. I kept thinking about it. And because in that moment, I just felt that panic. What? I'm doing all of this and thinking about not going to my workout. I just felt that's the only thing that I have that it's mine. Everything else, I realized I do is for other people. Even my work is for other people, for my clients, and training is the only thing that's just me. 2 days later, after that, I just kept thinking about it, and I was cleaning the house during my morning. So the morning is my time to be productive, to do my things, and Joey takes care of the girls, and then the evening we switch roles. And I was behind on stuff, so I'm I really need to clean this up. So I started cleaning in my time, and I started feeling like a slave to my own routine, and just it was a little bit too much for me. And that was supposed to be my time, right? So I started just crying while cleaning, and my husband came in, and from dropping off the kids from school, and he's like, that's it, you get out of here. You can't be doing this. He's always taking care of me, and I was already flooded. I went to the gym barely holding it together, and I of course I felt better after training, and there wasn't something else going on this week. My body, it wasn't just work and stuff. My body was screaming at me, if you want to call it that. That's why I got the Oura ring, and it was tracking that my body had been stressing out 4 to 6 hours every day, and that's double my usual. And it was flagging me with signs of strain and take it easy. And I think it's because hurts start adding up. Like my shoulder was hurting, my quad was hurting, my knee was hurting, and my shin was pretty bruised. So overall, I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm feeling okay. But I think that's sometimes a lie that we tell to ourselves when we're just running on empty, but like really wanting to do something. So regardless, the next day I went to MMA sparring, and I went still hard. I just finished with my clients, and some have abusive relationships, and honestly it's like super, super hard to get out of an abusive relationship. And I want my app right now. That's what I'm working on this week. My app works for people that are right now like figuring out their own needs, what's healthy, what's not, how can we fix things, but not yet prepared to handle people that are in toxic, abusive relationships. And that's what I need to upgrade. So like really, really abusive, shitty situations. That's what I'm working on right now, and it's hard stuff, man. I pushed through the pain because, I needed to feel control over something competent. The only thing that I can really control over my life sometimes, my workout. And that's why it keeps me sane, it gives me that routine. I'm so tired right now. Apparently my body's super stressed. And that's when I realized I'm pretty depleted. And it's funny because my training is like my one thing that I will protect now, and it gives me energy, but at the same time, I'm spending energy on it. And at this point, my body was hurting, and I'm pretty sure that I maybe would have injured myself if I kept pushing hard. I can't afford not being able to train at all and having to take a break or anything like that. So here's how I reframed it for you guys. You do have to know what's your non-negotiable. So for me, that's training. For you, I don't know, it might be therapy, it might be running, painting, or keeping the house clean. That's like your self-care that you need to not lose your shit. So whatever it is, you do have to name it. You have to know it, so that number 2, you can protect it. And that means just really saying no to everything else, and just not being sorry about it. Really communicating to your partner, to your kids, I don't know, your boss. In this case, my husband was like, I do forget how important training is for you. Because he remembers, and I remember the person that I was before I took back training. Because, I had 3 kids back to back, so it's not like I could be training. And, on top of being pregnant, like, I don't like the person that I was. And, not that I was a bad person, but comparing the person that I was before and after training, I really like how I am. I really like how I feel, how I behave, how I keep myself when I'm training. So that's the person that I'm protecting. So I'm going to say no to a lot of things, and I just accept that 3 hours a day is what I need to be at this disposition, at this high level of energy. And until things change, this feels very good. And step 3, which was kind of like the hardest one to realize this week, is that you have to figure out a way to sustain it without, destroying yourself or your other resources in a way that it destroys your lifestyle, the character that you're building, and the relationship dynamics that you are trying to build. So, and, it could be for you, I don't know, like keeping the house clean. And, but, the type of lifestyle that you're building is, if cleaning really takes a lot of energy out of you, then hiring a cleaning lady would be it. And protecting that. It's not a luxury. That's what keeps your energy protected. Now, is it sustainable? Like, do it in a way that's sustainable, maybe not every day, but once a week. And that helps you feel better, keeps your energy levels, and gets you closer to your $1 million life without taking out the resources that you could use to invest to build that life, right? So for me, my body, that means that some days I have to train smart, not really go as hard as I usually go, because honestly, every day I train as hard as I can. And it's hard for me to dial down and say like, okay, I'm gonna train at 70% intensity or 50% intensity, because I'm not used to that. My mind doesn't work that way. So maybe I can choose a partner that I know doesn't go as hard and forces me to take it easy. So that's what, I've been having to think of ways on, okay, how can I dial down today? Protect myself that I know I won't go crazy, because there are some partners that I have that we will just play and I will enjoy it, but that means I'm going to push it. So that's playing it smart, making it sustainable. And lastly, the privilege question, and and I know that some of you might be thinking, it must be nice to have 3 hours for yourself a day. And you're completely right. It is a privilege. I am completely aware of that. And I have a partner who can watch the kids, and who's super mindful and caring and wants me to be happy. And I have a gym that's close enough. And I have the financial ability to pay for the membership, the gas and the equipment, and I have the work for flexibility. So it's a lot of things that had to work out for me to have this, and for me to say I need it. It sounds like too much, and not everybody has that. So we can talk about later about what are wants and needs. But if I think about like, what do I actually need to thrive, to feel like I'm living the best life, I'm full of life, then yeah, I need that. I definitely need that. I will not die without it. But we're not talking about needs to just survive, right? So that's why I consider it essential for me. And until things change and I don't have to just survive, then I'm going to protect this. And I don't have the perfect answer for what you do if you just can't afford 3 hours, but I do know that you still need to find your version of it. Whatever the situation is, it could be just 10 minutes for yourself for breath work in your car. And I don't have the answer for you, but I do know that it helps a lot if you just can figure out what is it right now in my life that's helping me thrive, that's giving me that breath that I need to keep on swimming hard. You have to name it, then you have to protect it, and you have to figure out that's a way that's sustainable, that you can sustain it. Because if you don't, you'll just run on empty and you will break. And I have to keep an eye on myself, because I reached that point quite often this week. I was reaching that point, and it was because I was pushing my body too much, or there was something, I think, that my body wanted to get sick, and luckily it didn't, because I realized that. And I realized it because I was using my app. Because I was just writing like, okay, I feel off, I feel sad, and I keep pushing it, and it just kept on telling me, like, this is the 3rd day in a row, your body's screaming, and you need to start listening to it. And I was a little bit like, oh, it's true. It's very easy to not see those signs, to see them but ignore them and just say, I'm completely fine, I can totally keep pushing. But when you're using a mirror that's just telling you back what you're trying to ignore, then it's very, very, very hard to say like, nah. So that's what kept me aware, and what kept me away from getting sick, really. And then if that happens, I won't be able to show up for anyone, including myself. So let's not get there. Let's protect that and make it sustainable. So here would be my question for you. Like, what is your non-negotiable? It's important to become aware of these things. What's a thing that's keeping you sane, that gives you that breather, that gives you a shot of life? The thing that's just purely yours, for you, and the thing that you need to protect at all costs. And if you don't have one yet or you haven't discovered it yet, what would it be if you discover this one thing? So I put it in the comments. I want to know, because everyone has a different thing, and that's interesting to see. It gives you ideas to try, and that's part of the work, discovering yourself. Now, if you're also struggling to figure it out, that's also why I made the app in a way that's made to help you realize your patterns and it tracks your energy levels. So a lot of people, I think, burn out also because we just give without paying as much attention as to what gives us energy. So it's like a system that you're building that will allow you to give it 100%, but also realize what are the things that give you energy so that you can keep that going and be super efficient with your time, your energy, and all your resources to achieve PERMA. And that's what positive psychology calls like the recipe for a fulfilling life. Adding more activities that give you positive emotions, that gives you more engagement in life, that allow you to fully engage, that give you relationships, that helps you pay attention to which relationships are actually giving you energy rather than draining you or making you feel trapped. And what gives your life a lot more meaning and a sense of achievement. That's what we need, and it tracks that. That's why I need it, because it helps you see the patterns that you can't see from inside your life, if that makes sense. So it's not done yet. I've been working on it for a few months now, but I can't put you in the wait list. And if you really want to start using it, I can send it to you for free, and because it's still in the developing stages. And feel free to use it. I just really want to make a better world for yourself, and that means for everyone else. If your relationships can improve, I know this world can be a better place. Also, don't forget to subscribe, to share this message, and to hit the bell. See you next week.